Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Like we say, welcome in from the cold. It's nice to have you. First, want to wish Baruch Refi Chelem to Zev. How are you feeling?
Baruch Hashem, young.
You had an emergency, sir?
Better than it was, and getting better.
Okay, you should be completely better in Yetz Hashem. Okay, we're holding Mishna Ches in the fifth parak. Before we start the Mishnah, I just want to mention that the Goyish Day of Thanksgiving, which is controversial, Rav Miller was very, very strict about it, that he held that there was pagan rootings in it, and he was Eish Lahava, really a fire, not to celebrate the day. I'm correct about that, no? It's a very emotional subject for some people, and in families it became a day of families getting together, and whether it does have the trappings of Chukis Hagoyim, one thing is clear, is the message of Thanksgiving is a very important message. But it's a message for us, it's like somebody says, what do you hold on Mother's Day? By Yidden, every day is Mother's Day. And by Yidden, every day is Father's Day. By Yidden, every day is Thanksgiving. Rav Moshe was makpid. He always stood by Mizmor L'Seidah. Always stood. Even Rav Moshe stood the whole Psuk D'Zimrei. But even Ba'achris Hayomim, I'm talking about over 90, when he didn't have the strength to stand by the whole Psuk D'Zimrei, he stood by Mizmor L'Seidah. We have to know that we are the people of thanks. That's why we're called Yehudim, people that give thanks. That's why when David HaMelech was told that there were 100 casualties in the war, he was Mesaken Mea Brachas. I don't regularly follow it, but I did see on Yeshiva World such a frightening thing in Hendon. Hendon is a very nice suburban London community. Very nice community. They have leaflets. Jews leave or be slaughtered. All over Hendon. They had SWAT stickers on the Hendon golf course. So, one of the things that protects Klal Yisrael is when Klal Yisrael is thankful. We make our brachas with more kavanah. The Rebbeinu Shalom should protect us in a very turbulent world. We're dedicated by the Fisher family, L'Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi, Shlomo ben Avram Alevi, Perel Bas Ruvain. We're also dedicated L'Nishmas David ben Chaim, L'Refuah Shalema Perel Yomis Mechai Sarah, Schus of Avram Yom ben Ishmael Yehudis, by Yol Kugman and family, and for L'Refuah Shalema for Meir ben Chaim Sarah, and Moshe Meir ben Esther Fradel. So the Mishnah is talking about a case where I'm selling wine or oil to Rabbi Yaakov. Dr. Rothstein gave us the vessel. We didn't have a vessel to measure it, so Dr. Rothstein gave us a vessel. So now the question is, at what point does the wine or oil move from my possession to Rabbi Yaakov's possession? If the price goes up or the price goes down, and one of us wants to change our mind. So the Mishna says, if I sell wine or oil to Rabbi Yaakov, he's my friend, but we're using Dr. Rothstein's vessel, a third party's vessel. So the Mishnah's chiddush is Dr. Rothstein gave the vessel to be the seller's until it's full, and then it goes to the buyer. So the hukru oishehuzlu, the price of the wine goes up, it goes down. Im ad shaloi nismalas hamida, if it took place before it got filled up, so then Dr. Rothstein means that it should remain mine, the seller's. The seller could make all decisions yet. Mishinismalas hamida, once it's full, now Dr. Rothstein is giving it to Rabbi Yaakov, then the sale is over. He acquires it. Now, if there was a middleman, there was a broker, right? And the container belongs to the broker. In this case, Dr. Rothstein, he went out of the medical profession, but he still has his hand in things, and he's a middleman, and he's arranging the deal. So if it was filled into the broker's vessel, which he in turn arranged for Yaakov to buy, then nishbar achavyas, if it breaks, then the broker suffers the loss. Then nishbar al-asirser, then the broker suffers the loss because that's his business. Now, when I sell Yaakov the contents of a container, so I turn it around and it empties into his container, I have to, after it empties out, I have to let 3 more drips come out. After it spills out, I have to leave it hanging over his keli. 3 drips more come out, then that's it. Hirkina, if then when it was put back erect, umitza, and there's a collection on the bottom, that belongs to the seller. That's how Rehushal Meicher. As long as I let 3 drips come out. The Chenveni, the Tanakama says, the grocer that does many such sales, we don't make him hold it over for 3 more drips. There's just no time. He won't be able to do business. The Chenveni, the grocer, ain't a chayiv lahatif shal shtipin. He doesn't have to let the 3 drips come out. Rabbi Yehuda, this machlokes in Gemara what Rabbi Yehuda is talking about, but the way the Rav learns, Rabbi Yehuda Aimer, Rabbi Yehuda says, when the grocer doesn't have to leave it to drip 3 drips? That's only Erev Shabbos, in Chashecha. That's only before Shabbos, when things are very busy, potter. But the rest of the time, the grocer also has to let it drip the 3 drips. Now, this is a very interesting case. A very interesting case. What happens over here is Yaakov sends his son with a jug that I should fill up with oil. He sends him also a punyan. A punyan is 2 isers. And he wants me to give him an isser of the oil and give back the child change. So Asheleach es b'noi eitzel chenveni. He sends his son to me, to the grocer, upunyan biyadai, and he has a punyan, which is 2 issers, and he has an empty jug. Madadai be'isser shemen. I measure him out an isser of oil. V'nasan lo yes isser, and I also give him the change. He bought an isser, he gave me a punyan. Punyan is 2 issers, so I gave him a change of an isser. So of course, he's a kid. So on the way home, he breaks the jar. Maybe he stopped to play, red light, green light, 1, 2, 3, or whatever it was. And he breaks the jar and loses the isser's change. So the din is, so what happened over here? Shabar es hatzluchas. He broke the jar with the oil. The ibed es isser, and he lost the change. So the Mishna says, chen v'ni chayev. I'm chayev for everything. Now this is not so simple. Because, look, he sent his jug with, a child can't take care of it. It's like it's already broken. Why should I be chayev to pay for the jug? So the Gemara adds an important bit of information. The Gemara adds that when he brought the jug, before I filled it up, I used it to measure for other customers. So therefore I misappropriated it. If I misappropriated it, I became responsible for it. So that's why if it broke, I'm chayiv. The din is the chenveni is chayiv, the grocer is chayiv. Now, you'll say, why am I chayiv for the money? I shouldn't have given it to him. The child can't be trusted. You'll say, okay, but the father gave it to him. But I have the punyan. And since I have the punyan, and I shouldn't have given him the money, I have to pay for the money too. However, Rabbi Yehuda Paiter, Rabbi Yehuda says that even though I used it illegally, I have a din of a shayah, not of a thief. And therefore, when I returned it back to the child, it makes it like I never took it. Rabbi Yehuda Paiter, Shalmanas Kain Shlachai. And Rabbi Yehuda holds that I can't be chayiv for anything because Rav Yaakov shouldn't have sent the child with the stuff. The fact that I used it illegally, that just makes me a shayil, and I fulfilled it by returning it back to the child to the way that it was that he sent it with the child. Now, Moedim Chachamim, the Chachamim admit there would be a case where I don't have liability, even according to the Chacham, and that is if I didn't use it to measure anybody else, I didn't misappropriate it. That if it stayed in the hands of the child, and I just put it into the jug, I didn't misappropriate it and use it to measure for anybody else, so then then I would be pater. We want to really thank you for joining us.